Today on Chesapeake Shores for the Season 3 finale, we're talking about sorries, separations, and sailing with special guest Michael Berns. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Chessies. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV, Chesapeake Shores After Show. Season 3, Episode 10, the finale, before a following sea. We have a full show today, a full panel. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. Joining me as always.
Hey guys, back again, Julana Dizon.
Hey guys, Carlina Will here.
Hey, Tay Alexandria.
And of course, special guest, EP showrunner Michael Berns once again. Hello, Michael.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming back. We just pulled him along. It was like, you're going to do the finale. You don't have a choice anymore. So.
And no choice at all.
So, first of all, I just have to say congratulations on amazing Season 3.
Oh, thank you.
So, what's it feel like now that the show has finally wrapped, it's aired, people have watched it, and the reactions? What does that feel like?
It's great. I mean, it's nice to be able to lead people along a sort of path and sort of know where it's going and not have to worry about giving spoilers out.
yeah. We're definitely going to talk all about this
Although
episode.
your predictions were so close last week.
So close. I mean, I think all of us were pretty close to a lot of
you pretty much
different
nailed
things.
a lot of it. Yeah.
That's good for us.
We almost didn't even have to air it.
Because we
Here
just
first on AfterBuzz, we already know
we
this.
could just have someone say, just watch AfterBuzz. They guessed it all.
Save you guys a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're like, we did it. So good on us and great writing, because there were a lot of things that we predicted, but it didn't turn out the way that we thought it did. So again, with the twists and turns of the plot development and all that. So let's get into it. But real quick thoughts. Julana, let's start with you.
I was crying the whole I watched it this morning. I loved it. I texted Carlina. I was like, oh my God, I'm having all the feelings right now. It was 8 a.m. I was driving to work. I love this episode so much. So I'm happy.
Yes, I'm glad like someone did their apology tour. I was asking for all season.
It really has.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was like, that
I
was
thought of
me.
you throughout this whole thing.
So yeah, I'm excited to dig into that.
I did. I love this episode. Thank you, Michael, for tying all my predictions together because 2 of them actually came true, and I love that. And the only thing I will say that I'm just really flabbergasted, I can't think of other word for that, flabbergasted about is just Trace and Abby. But we'll talk about that.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to talk about it. Lots to
It
say.
makes me upset, Michael.
Yeah.
Should I leave now?
I have to talk about it.
No, there's 2 doors you have to get through, and they're both locked.
They are locked.
Let's get into it. Abby and Trace. Did you expect Trace to say yes to this tour and leave Abby?
No, I didn't think he would do it. And I've kind of always been like, Trace is going to pursue his career. But I really thought when it came down to be that serious for that long of a time span, I thought maybe he would just stay in Chesapeake Shores.
I said yes, I think last week, because I was like, long distance, I keep saying it over and over, and Michael and Kirsten just proved me right, that long distance does not work. Like, nobody's doing that. Trace is going overseas, he's going to get himself, like, a great girl, so that's what I thought.
Don't say that.
Oh, see, I
Immediately?
wasn't going that far.
Shameful, Carlina. Don't say that.
She's all for the drama.
I do.
A European
They
girl?
needed season 4. Come on, that's amazing.
It's true.
Wait a minute. Let me just take notes. Amazing.
Yeah, do you need a notepad?
Yeah,
and a pen?
exactly.
We can provide that.
I agree with all of you. I wanted Trace this whole time. I just wanted Trace to pursue his dream and go. However, I just don't like Abby in this situation. I don't like the fact that she's not. That means she's not supporting her man's dreams. That just means like she is just insecure about a lot of things. For the last 3 episodes, Abby has really been like. Not my. I used to love them as a couple, but now they're not anymore. I just love everybody else but them because I feel like Abby should be there for Trace and his decision making. I mean, it's only 8 months. I mean, the people in
6
the
to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. People in
Okay.
the military who have deployments go way longer than that. And I feel like she shouldn't make a final solution for a temporary situation. You see what I mean?
But I think
only 6 to 8 months.
with the 8 months, if they go on a tour that big, they're going to get more famous. They're going to obviously be offered another thing. And then it becomes into he's a touring artist, he's a headliner.
I just think you should support him. I mean, like, it's a temporary situation. It could be more, but you should be happy that your man is, like, having a name and having a dream and, like, going with his career. No? Is I the only one?
I mean, I can understand that, but Michael...
I know, but look, the best part about this is exactly sort of what we wanted to happen. You know, people have both, you know, there's different ways of looking at it. And for me, you know, Abby's primary reason is, you know, her goal to come back to Chesapeake Shores is to find stability for her kids. And to see that with Miss Marvel and with Wes, and now her life gets completely upended, it's hard. And I think that in some respects, when she said, I knew what I was in for when I went back to Chesapeake Shores. I knew what I was giving up and I was okay with it. At some point in any relationship, and I'm not actually supporting Abby really, because I sort of wanted it to sort of shoot down the middle, is that you have to say, how far can you go before you just can't go anymore, and before you're living a life that's not yours. And I think that it was almost for us to try to create sort of a 3-year arc. I mean, I wasn't involved obviously in the first year, but getting involved with someone, eventually you have to either sort of put up or shut up. And at some point, Abby had to make that decision. And I know it's the wrong one.
I think it is, but hey.
It's not so much the wrong one, it's just not the ideal one that the majority of us want.
Well, look, I think that, you know, you look long-term for a TV show. And
Exactly.
Getting them married now, and I mean, look, for me, I always want happily ever after. When I get to the end of a movie, I want everybody to be in love and everybody riding off into the sunset. It's a TV show, and it's like this year, everybody, oh my gosh, we're going to get Mick and Megan back together again, and it's just like we want them married, and it's like, well, yeah, but it's hard to do drama when you get everybody back together again immediately.
That's true. From a storyline standpoint, I get it.
But I think Abby's been very dutiful and very accepting of Trace's dreams so far, and I think she just reached that breaking point.
Yeah. So my question to you is,
Uh-oh.
for the writing,
I'm really running to the door. Yes.
For the writing, when you started the writing process for this season, did you always know with the mindset that you were eventually going to break up Abby and Trace at the end of the season?
When I pitched Hallmark last January on the season, I pitched the sailing from the very beginning, and that the sailing was going to be an issue, and then the book would run through the course of the season. I knew that we were going to have to resolve Trace and Abby, and I knew it at the end. And truth be told, there was 2 endings shot.
Ooh. What? Can you tell us the other one? Now that
No.
it's... Oh, okay.
but it might have gone a completely different way.
But they stayed together?
I mean, yeah, what would be the other?
Imagine.
But we
what's the other
but we
extreme?
literally were going back and forth with Hallmark and really trying to find that sweet spot of like where we wanted this season to end up, and I mean, knock on wood, hopefully there's a season 4 where we would jump off next year.
I think it's a good issue. I think it's a thing that a lot of people in relationships can relate with, especially if they're getting to that point where, you know, you're older, you're thinking about getting married and whatnot. So I like it. And it does leave you hanging, so you're going to, obviously, you got to have a season
Well, I
4.
guess
but
something
leave
has
it
to
there.
hang.
But you know, look, I think that whether or not, whatever happens, I mean, if there is a season 4, whatever happens with Trace and Abby, I think if it goes one way or it goes the other, I think it's really important for Abby's character, at least for me, to be, as you were saying, at some point you have to say, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, plus my big thing with this is I think it's better if he goes off and does his thing, because in the event that, say, he said no, somewhere down the line you could run into this issue of there's some kind of resentment building because Trace feels like he didn't get to go and live his dream, and he gave up his dream, you know. So I feel like it's better that people pursue their passions, and then if life brings them back together, then so be it, and then everyone is happy. But I think it'll be good.
Relationships aren't supposed to be like peaches and bubblegum, though. It's supposed to like hit rocks like this, and it's how you overcome it. That's what makes it stronger. That's why I think that Abby should have. Okay.
I really wanted her to grow, because I feel like she already made the safety net choice already by marrying Wes, you know? So I really wanted her to take a risk with Trace, but it looks like she's back to her safety net ways. But that's who Abby is. She likes the safety and security, you know, and she has 2 kids to also think about. So, I mean, just for her and Trace's sake, I think it was a good part on the writing, because they both need to live their lives and really decide like what they want. And you know, Trace needs to live his dream to decide if that's really what he wants as a family, or be, you know, the mega singer that you're saying. So I think it ended great.
Oh.
I know, right? Like, I'm usually the one battling. I'm doing.
Right. Well, I'm not happy that she called it off.
Thank you.
But
somebody.
But I mean, but I can also understand just from her perspective, because he said from his perspective it wasn't working, but from hers it's not, because she is a mother. She's taking care of these kids. She wants certain things in her life, and Trace is not at that point in his life to give it to her. So I can understand, just as a woman and fulfilling her personal needs, that he wasn't fulfilling on that end. So she called it off in that sense. But like, that's also very empowering. Good for her. She put herself first, like her whole conversation with Nell.
Right.
And I think one of the biggest issues was the fact that her dad was gone so much while they were growing up. I think she doesn't want a father figure for her kids that's like gone so much, even though I know Wes is kind of like in and out, but I think she doesn't want to, like, you know, marry another guy that's supposed to be there and then he's gone all the time.
I forgot about Wes. I completely forgot about Wes.
Bye.
Yeah. Wes is fine with Miss Marvel now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's perfect.
She is.
Yeah,
She is.
Marvel's great. We like her.
Yeah.
Keep bringing her
She's
back.
the only one who came in like as an afterthought that I actually like. The only one.
Noted.
As an afterthought?
Not an afterthought, but just another significant other
Right.
coming in and like just causing havoc of our
Right.
main characters.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta clear that up.
We like Mrs. Marvel.
Yes, I like
Yeah,
her.
okay.
Bring her
So
back.
wait, Miss Marvel for next year too.
Yes.
Danielle,
for season 4. We're
We'll
just
get
like
to that.
gonna throw you all of our
get to
suggestions
that.
for
I'm
season 4.
holding what I am saying with that.
Do you think Trace? I mean, Trace is obviously broken up about it, but there was that moment when he was on tour with Donovan and he met his daughter, and he seemed sad, but also there was like a slight realization in his eyes, like, I could still have that. I could still have a family and still tour and be a successful musician.
That's exactly the feeling that I got from that too. There was like a little bit of hope in his face. So I thought that he was having those similar thoughts.
Yeah. And it was great. I was on set when he was doing it, and you're just watching that close up on Jesse, and you're going, "Oh, this is great."
It was really good.
I'm just running over, going, "Jesse, that was amazing." He told so much. He never said anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there is a possibility it might not be happening now, but it could work.
Yeah.
It could work if they put the time into it. All right. Let us know what you guys think. Everyone live in the YouTube
it's busy.
event.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm like, I can't
A lot of
keep
people
up.
are agreeing with me. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Jordan, Lanita, Chris. Yes, I see you all. Debbie. Hello. But you can also subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes. I have an announcement to make. Hey, AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you and help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button somewhere around here now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we'll thank you on the air. Tay will give you a personal shout out. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes, thank you always for tuning in every single week and subscribing, liking all of our shows on YouTube. You guys are amazing. We loved the love. All right, let's moving on to Kevin and Sarah. I love this relationship. For some reason, and then I just have to speak about this first, sorry, is that I love this relationship more than I thought I was going to this season. This
too.
became like my favorite couple to watch throughout this season. And it was great. They're fantastic. Yes, Tay.
I was gonna say, okay, never mind. No, I love them. No, I love them. I really, really love them. I agree with you. I didn't expect I would love them this much. And I also love the fact that they were actually going to have a long distance. I'm just going to note this. and it was actually going to potentially work, unlike Trace and Abby. But okay, never mind. But I love them.
Yeah.
I love how Jessica tried to keep her poker face when we were here, when she
When
was
she
on the
was sitting
show,
here.
because I was just like, long distance doesn't work. Kevin's gonna get a job as a paramedic, and then she's gonna move back. And she was like, you were so right. I mean, listen, as you guys can tell, long distance doesn't work. So one of them had to move. One of them had to move, and Kevin's like so ingrained with his family. You know, the O'Briens don't leave each other. I don't see any of them leaving anytime soon.
Nope.
You might
Yeah.
surprise me if there's a next season.
He's like taking all
I
types
know,
of
he's
mental notes
like-
right now.
Like, I feel like I'm giving him like there's gonna be so many twists and turns, because he's like, if Carlina doesn't guess it, the audience is gonna be surprised probably. So that's where I was, and I'm glad they're together. I want them to be together. I knew it was gonna be a struggle. We already see the struggle happening with the couple A we were talking about earlier. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're
This is
working it
couple
out.
B.
This is couple B, yeah.
Julana, do you like how it worked out between these two?
Yeah, of course. I think they're my favorite TV couple right now. Definitely top 3 favorite TV couples of any TV show I've ever watched. I love them so much. And I just think that their relationship, for them being like pretty young, they're so mature. I feel like both of them are really mature people, and they have this like mature kind of love. Like how Kevin was pretty much told her, you know, he was like, basically, you're my family now. You know, he had a line where he said,
It was so sweet.
So adorable.
yeah,
loved
he
it.
was like, oh, wait. He said, well, I wouldn't really be leaving my family. So basically, he was like, that was so cute. So, and then, yeah, when she moved back,
I was like, come on.
I just think it's cute because now I feel like they both feel like they're super solid and they are each other's family and they want to start their own family together. So,
Yes.
Yeah, no. Look, they're fun to write as well, and they're great together. And I mean, we felt so too. I mean, they ended up exactly where we sort of wanted to end up, and you could see the two of them together anyway. I mean, from the very beginning, as you said, they're not old, but you know, when you've sort of gone through as much of both of them have gone through, when you get to a point when you just kind of know. You know, and it's like, look, when I met my wife, my friends within 2 weeks were saying, "Oh, you're done." And I'm like, no, she's just fun and we're having a great time. He goes, "No, you're done. You're married."
No.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, I'm, oh yeah." Okay.
how old were you guys when you met?
5? No.
Oh.
I was a
Playground
very
life.
mature 5-year. No, I was 29 or 30.
Nice.
So I wasn't that young at that point.
That's
But
good
you're
wifing
around-
age.
Yeah.
I'm at the wifing age time.
But that's like around the same age as Kevin and Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I like that this, just for the short amount of time that they're together, they do love each other so much that they're willing to give up certain things and make that sacrifice and make that compromise, as you would in a healthy relationship, such as marriage.
Yep.
Any plans or like mental plans that you have for them in the
Completely.
upcoming probable
Wedding
Tons of
bells.
plans.
Wedding bells.
I wouldn't
Wedding
mind seeing them married before Abby and Trace.
Oh yeah,
Not gonna
definitely.
lie.
They're more stable.
Definitely.
So wedding bells and not having Kevin go out on tour as a
Trace not going
Trace.
on tour.
no, Kevin.
Okay. Oh,
Plate spinning. He has to leave. No, I'm just
okay.
kidding. No, I think that the two of them are back in Chesapeake for good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's back.
They're the
to-
most solid relationship
yeah.
for sure.
Chat.
Oh yeah.
This is what I'll say. I say engagement at the beginning of season 4, marriage
Oh my God.
at the end.
Wait,
of
I have a
season
great
4 for
idea.
them.
If there is a marriage scene, we would love to come as extras.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there you go.
Here's the trick. If I tell you, you can't break the news to anybody.
Well, of course.
Oh, we
We
would
wouldn't.
not.
That's what NDAs are
It's just
for.
us.
Exactly.
So no predictions like next week. I think there might be a wedding.
You know what? Everyone probably thinks I was on set this season. I wasn't.
No, Kirsten was
lying.
just calling. Carlina, I have some stuff for you.
No, we totally would. Vancouver's not that far.
No, it's not.
You can do that in
Just
a
a
day.
short
Less
flight.
than
Yeah.
a day.
I mean, I fly free, so I could just get there in a heartbeat.
Tell you what.
We can be there in 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I have
Call
no.
us up.
I don't. At this point, we don't even know if there's a season 4. But if there is, and if it's in my ability, I'll let it slip.
Yay!
As long as you don't.
Okay.
But I'm not
As
sure
long
if
as
it
we
would
don't
be
split.
anybody. It could be any of the couples.
Anyone.
Okay.
I'm happy to sit in.
Well, I
fine.
can't go to Jess and David's
Yeah, she's obsessed with David.
No, I know.
because I'll be too jealous and I'll break the wedding up. And it's
And
just,
does anybody have a reason
I
why
will
these two
object.
you would?
I will object. He
needs
might
to
not
be
want
with
me at that
me.
one.
Oh, we're also not going to go to Connor and Danielle's wedding.
Oh no!
Don't invite us.
No. I'll probably crash it. I might crash it.
We would.
Me and Marisa will
That's
go.
fine. We support it. That's fine.
But like making like anybody else, like Abby and Trace,
Right.
making Megan, because that's gonna happen in season 4. And yeah, anybody else is cool.
Great. And
Marriage
so,
bells.
but if it's Connor and Danielle, you'll have your backs turned. It's like, who are those people with their backs turned like this?
I missed
The
my
arms
flight.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
United.
You know what? I probably would be there, but I'd be sitting like this.
Side eye.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, talking about weddings and couples relationships, Jess and David. Yes.
Start
I
with-
mean,
with
Tay loves
Because you just
David.
made a
We
heart.
know,
Yeah,
we
go
know.
ahead.
But we saw the Pecks come.
That was my
And-
prediction. I
Yeah.
said that.
We both said that.
Yeah, we
Yes.
predicted that. We
Yeah.
predicted
I thought
that.
I
about
think we
you.
all predicted it.
We did.
Yeah, we all predicted that,
Yeah.
like, because the Pecks ending and not seeing them, like, just abruptly go away. I was like, that was too soon. We have to see them again.
And
in
I
Chesapeake Shores.
predicted someone was going to pay for Jess. Like they were gonna. I thought David was gonna do it. Like give the inn, like pay for a new inn for Jess. But I didn't know the Pecks were gonna do it.
I said the Pecks were going to
Did
do it.
you?
Yes.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
thought
All the fans were like retweeting me that I said
Really?
it. Yeah.
I knew it was gonna go that way. I just didn't know how. Yeah, but yeah, I like that happened. Pecks came back. I thought it was gonna be more drama. Actually, I kind of wanted
Same.
more of the drama.
You didn't
side.
like that they were just nice.
They were just all nice and sweet.
Sorry.
But Tanglewood is only 2 hours from Boston.
Are you telling us?
Oh,
something?
yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
I was
question. I was
wondering
like,
how far
where
It's
is
that
really
Tanglewood?
easy. Tanglewood is about 2 hours west of Boston. It's actually beautiful.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful place to have a B&B and a beautiful place to be very near the Pecks.
Oh, you just told us.
But how
something.
far is that
Oh.
from Chesapeake Shores then?
A lot further.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
I
I
wondered
didn't even
about
think about
that.
the
So,
location.
Yeah, I thought about that
I was
because
like,
that would
what's
mean Jess and
Tanglewood?
David would have to leave Chesapeake Shores, and nothing good comes out of anything outside of Chesapeake Shores.
She's adamant
You
So
about
she's
can't
that.
still
leave
being
Chesapeake
a
Shores.
conniving. I mean, she's still being a conniving, petty person.
Well, I think it's also it's more so like Mrs. Peck. We don't like her, obviously,
We don't.
for a lot of reasons, rightfully so. But I think this is our very rich apology saying sorry, but also it's our way where we can keep an eye on you.
It's an apology with a plan. No, that's
Yeah.
petty
I don't
and
like
conniving and
It's got an
mischievous.
ulterior
Manipulative.
motive.
Right.
I'm not saying that.
I didn't even. Oh no, you let
I
that.
have
no,
slip.
but
No.
I think that's what
I don't know. Look at his face.
I don't know. I think
think
he's
that's
trying
what
to
the Pecks
cover
are
it now.
thinking. No, I
Yeah.
think that's what the Pecks are thinking.
I think they tried to go in to help, because they do want to rebuild their relationship with their son, and that's what David wants as well. And I love that he called Jess out on it, like, "Why do you want to be friends with your parents?" Because she's always fighting with her parents too, and she always gives them a chance. So, like, I love that he called her out on that. That wasn't my really best Jess impersonation, but I respect it, and for his parents coming in to help, because every parent should be there when their kid's like upset like that. So if it's ulterior motive, we will find out, and I'm coming for you, Mrs. Peck, if it is. I hope this is like really genuine, like they really wanted to help. I'm looking at
No,
the good side.
Marissa, you have me thinking.
No, I have to. I am definitely questioning
See, I'm
this.
actually
It's-
happy for a sec.
Well, you can be happy.
You just
like-
shot my dream down.
No, there was a moment where they're like, "You're such a great cook, David. Like, you need to run your own kitchen." Excuse me. And like they were acknowledging his talent, so I just questioned the genuineness of that.
But they had already bought the Airbnb, right? Or they were
They said
going
think
to
about
buy
it.
Yeah.
They said
Oh
think
yeah, they
about
didn't
it.
even make a
Yeah,
decision.
yeah.
They're still thinking about it.
Right. So no,
So we don't know.
but like there's some parents, like I agree with you. Every parent should be there and supportive of your kids and try to help them as much as you can. But there's parents where it's a negotiation. I mean, like you give them something and they expect something back. And I don't know if the Pecks are as maybe they are. Maybe they really had an about face and they're just filled with love.
Mm-mm.
She's like, no.
Sounds fishy to me.
I'm not sure about their history.
I just realized how much of business people they are. Yeah, Marissa, I agree with you.
I'm not sure
No.
about their history.
And I didn't think about the location of where it was. Yeah.
No, actually, I thought.
a plan.
Here's the crazy thing: is I was stunned that a lot of people didn't know where. I mean, obviously not a lot of people would know where Tanglewood was, but someone said found Tanglewood was on a resort on Chesapeake, and we're really happy. They were going, "Oh my gosh, this is a resort on Chesapeake Bay, and they're going to be close." And I'm thinking, I was reading that last night, going, "Uh oh, no, Tanglewood, Massachusetts, west." Far. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't catch it.
Darn it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we think Jess and David are going to accept it?
It's really nice. It looked really nice.
I think they are.
15 rooms. That's
think
hard to
they
turn
are.
down.
I think they are too, because like after David kind of stood up to Jess a little bit, she might be like, all right, let's go try it out and see.
But it's also Jess too. I mean, what she was, good at, she can't do anymore. And their
Exactly.
relationship are great when they were both able to do what they were both wanted to do, and both. And now it's, it's after David took over Sally's, it's the David show.
Right. I think it's good for David and not good for Jess. Because with her other end, it was her baby. Now this one is kind of, they're the investors. So they're kind of under, she's going to be under the Pecks now.
You know what?
That's true.
Yeah, I would
That's
like
a
to
problem.
see Jess outside of Chesapeake Shores.
Me too.
though, because she's the youngest. She's always been there.
She's never left.
Yeah.
She's never had a life outside of Chesapeake Shores. So it'd be interesting and for character building, what it would do for her if she left.
Yep.
And that makes for good drama if you have the Pecks trying to put their influence and how they think it should be run, and then her fighting back.
So the drama is
Well,
coming. Got it.
Oh yeah.
Well, if they're that way.
If they are that way, sneakily.
I'm just excited to see David's new menu if there's like another season.
You should try
When
to cook all the
there's-
things
When there's
that he
another
cooks.
season.
Cook
When
all the
there's another
things that
season.
David makes on the show. Just have my little mini like
Yeah, we
2-minute
can just
clip
taste
after
test
show.
it.
That would be
Yeah.
that would be great.
He's like, that would be great.
Like, if we're inviting you to Vancouver, you have to invite me to your house.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you
That's
guys,
very
I
fair.
did. We're gonna talk about it later, but I
That's
made
fair.
some cinnamon muffins because
Yeah.
Michael requested it, and
show
I
it to
did.
the camera. You're already talking about
Oh,
it.
I already talked about it. Like here, I don't even know if we can like, zoom up on it. But I have like the homemade frosting that you put on like like we're about to dig in.
Right. And it's just staring at us.
It's
right
just
now.
staring at us, but we're not going to be rude and eat it in front of you guys.
Carlina should have an after show after Chesapeake comes on and Hallmark Channel to like literally like make David's foods. I feel like that would get ratings.
I was
Hallmark.
actually gonna say that should just be
That
a new
should be a
special
thing
segment.
on that should
Right?
be
And
a
we
thing.
give out the recipes. That'd
We
be great.
do.
Yeah. Hallmark
Hallmark.
Channel.
Love it.
I feel like I
Season
should
4
get a
comes around,
percentage
we're
though
making
because
this
I
official.
Wait, can you guys like come on and try my food so I'm not just staying there by myself?
Can I come on and try your food? Do you even have to ask?
Okay.
I mean, the only reason why I haven't eaten it now because I don't want to look nasty on camera.
that's why I said we're going to eat it off camera, but it does smell really good, you guys.
Yes, and it looks delicious. So we completely digress. All right, let's talk about Megan. All right, Megan making her rounds, is saying her sorries. She first talked to Connor and apologized, and it actually seemed genuine. Connor seemed like he like accepted it. So hopefully that they'll be on better terms in that sense. I like that. And then, of course, getting to Bree. Do you like how Bree like read what she had to say, what she and Mick had to say in a letter?
That's where I cried.
That's where I cried
That's where, like, I just lost
that's
it.
where you
I
guys
don't
cried?
cry. Yes, it's
I
the
just-
letter.
I always feel like there's a difference between sometimes if you're trying to convey your feelings by talking, it's easy to get jumbled up and not be really clear. But if you take the time to sit down, you can write out sentences, you can rewrite them, you can really craft it to make it exactly how you want and get your point across. And I just love handwritten letters, and it just was so touching, and with the voiceover and everything. Yeah, I was bawling.
It's gorgeous. It was gorgeous.
It was really pretty.
It
I
was.
was thinking about, because I watched this episode a couple times, I was thinking about it. Every time where Megan tried to actually physically talk to Bree and explain, like, Bree wasn't really fully listening or, like, wasn't really accepting it in this way. So I feel like her whole confession and apology in a letter, in a written form, is the best medium to actually get to Bree because of her personality. She's a writer. She reads everything and she takes things in more personally when it's read to her. So I think letter is literally the best medium to get the message across.
And she was sidetracked because of the whole Caroline situation too. So for her to actually be able to sit down and take her time and actually sit down and read it, that's probably a better scenario for her.
Exactly. I loved where the letter ended. It said, "Where there is love, there will always be hope." So
I wrote that down too.
Yeah, right. So to me, it just gave me hope for like the O'Briens, because they have so much they need to work out on, and I think she even referenced, like, if we go astray, guide us back. And
promise that this time we'll always be there for you.
It was,
That was
a
so
beautifully
beautiful.
written letter.
Yes.
It was.
Great job, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Great job.
Good on you.
No, but it's the O'Briens though. It's they're not a perfect family. Certainly, because of Mick and Megan, they've really made some huge mistakes, but they always find a way to somehow or another get sort of back on track. So.
Yeah, and I loved how in this letter they were taking responsibility for it, because they were being called out by their own children. It's like, you guys aren't admitting what you did. And this one, they're acknowledging and aware of what they did and what they didn't. That's what they also said.
What they said, we're sorry for what we did and what we didn't do.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's so good where like the parents have to apologize to the children, because that took a lot for them.
Yeah, and I think there's so much in terms that still has to be sort of figured out between with Megan's story, but at a certain point, you can do an entire episode of just confessing, or you would just at some point it's just simpler and better just to say we're really, really sorry. Because the other stuff is going to come out eventually anyway, but at least you're starting from a very healthy point of realizing that you're the ones who kind of mess things up.
Yes. And I don't know if you guys were like predicting you were going to meet me or something when you were writing this, but my favorite line the whole episode, it was great when Bree, she's like, "Hi Bree, I want to speak to you." She's like, "Oh, I know, because Connor called me and told me you're on your apology tour." And I was like, "Yes,
I did think about you.
That's what I was waiting for." I just wanted.
Rounds.
So I think for me as a fan, hearing that letter, and it really made me like, I can't believe I'm saying, like, it made me forgive Megan, because I've been like upset with her all season. I think you know this, Kirsten.
Like from episode 1
From
through
episode
7.
1, but like I felt like the O'Brien kids. I was like, that's what all I wanted. I just wanted them to apologize. So that, I feel good. That's why I was crying, because I felt like the kid. Like I felt like she was apologizing to me. Yeah.
Aww.
And
Now crying while you're making your cupcake.
Yeah, I was like, that's the secret ingredient, tears.
Tears and forgiveness. Shout out to Amelia. Sorry, Emily. Amelia, her performance during all this was phenomenal. She broke my heart just watching her all through all this.
Oh, it was Amelia. I mean, we have a great cast, and Amelia, I mean, knew about the book at the very beginning of the year, and we knew we were going to sort of parse it out over the course of the 10 episodes, and we wanted to start kind of a little bit of drama and then start to have some fun with it and let it kind of lie. But Amelia just killed it. I mean, I was watching dailies because I wasn't on set the day they shot her, reading the letter, and just watching her read the letter, and it's silent because she's not talking. I'm just looking at her face and I'm just going, oh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, it was great.
Quick question, Michael. Are we ever, if there's a season 4, are we ever as fans going to know what's in that book? There's just so much going on.
That is actually a very true question.
The funny thing is that book started off last season as just because Bree's always writing, and as a joke I was thinking, I know what I'll do. This year I'll just have Bree reading the book, and it's just going to be Cheryl Wood's actual real books on Chesapeake Shores, and I can not have to do a lot of work at all. I'll just rip off Cheryl. And then the book became something. So the pieces that I've written of the book are there. I mean, it's a crazy story because there's lots of different references to people going down rivers, and I don't know. I mean, it would be. I would love to see it.
We would all love to see it.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it would take me a little while.
There you go, Hallmark. You need to fund it.
There you go.
I think the
question is,
and to be honest, I think we should talk to Cheryl first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Cheryl.
That's fair.
She's the book writer.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the question is if Bree is still going to publish the book after all this has now in a sense, clear the air? Or it's now out there with the family, and they've acknowledged it, hopefully made their apologies, accepted it, moved on. Does she still need this book?
That was my prediction. Like, I think it was the last episode. I think I said I don't think she's going to do it now.
I don't think so either.
Because even if publishing it, we're trying to mend it all right now. Publishing it would be kind of, well, now the world has it, or now everybody, the world's going to be talking about it now and asking us questions. You know? I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Julana.
I feel like now that she's got that apology and she accepted it, she's at peace. And I feel like maybe the book was kind of this, like, object of all this emotional stuff that she was having. So now that, you know, it's been dealt with and everything, maybe she feels like she doesn't need to publish it anymore.
Yep. The conduit, the catalyst for the whole conversation that the
it's
whole
almost like,
family needed to have.
Yeah, it's almost like when people say, no, don't, you want to do it. And then when people say, okay, then you also, like, recede.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm like Michael right now. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been discussed one way, going either way. So.
Okay.
Okay. Speaking of books, did you guys notice the nautical times that was in Wordplay by Mike Roll, the director? That was like clearly placed in front of me. I was like, I see you.
Yeah.
It's like a little Easter egg.
Yeah. There's
for those who
a lot of Kirsten books, and there's a lot of the art department's named.
Cool.
And the book, the crazy, the book that Connor is holding in the campfire at the beginning.
Sailing book?
Is they actually made a sailing book. Actually, I took a picture of the cover. It's by Lisa Page, and Lisa Page happens to be Jim Nelson's real live wife, who is also a really big sailor.
Cool.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, Jim Nelson is a huge sailor and is a big author. And that's how he got his name.
Ah,
And so I get to kill him off.
Oh, man.
killed Jim. Yeah, because that
It's
was
nice to do
like,
to college friends.
yeah, he was the guy who gave the sailboat to Mick.
Right.
And I always questioned, I was like, who's Jim? Do we know Jim?
Last season, Jim Nelson died in the episode where Mick goes, oh my God, one of my friends just passed away. And he says it was James Nelson. So we killed him off last season. And then Jim gave, Mick the boat. And the words of advice.
Yes, it's all making sense now.
I love finding out these little. I love putting the pieces together afterwards.
Yeah. No, I've, like the nice thing about being, having written for a fairly long time, you have a tendency to sort of do weird things to your friends.
Like kill him.
Yep.
I really liked it, and we touched a little bit about Bree and Simon and Caroline. Will Caroline stick around? That's the question. I love Kimberly Sustad. She needs to stay in Chesapeake Shores just because it's good drama, and she's a great actress, and she could be a really good friend to Bree. It'd be fun just to see her around Chesapeake Shores.
She was great, and we have some ideas.
I knew she was staying.
Caroline's sticking around maybe
I'm
a
not
little
saying
bit.
anything.
But if we got season 4, she would be staying.
Yeah, she
absolutely. She has
there.
to dig into Bree's book, right? Yeah, or something.
Some drama's gonna come out of that.
But they could
I feel like
be
she's being
really good
introduced.
friends.
I do want them to be friends.
Yes, because there was a moment she's like, I want to talk about your ending to, Bree's play, where
Bree's
everyone
play.
was questioning the ending. So, like, they connect in just, like, the writer mentality. They could be really good friends.
But Bree
Bree
has
needs
to
a
get
friend.
over it first. She needs to get over the Caroline Books and Simon whole, like, what is her motive mindset first in order to... I want them to be friends.
It could be like an Abby and Miss Marvel kind of.
Yes, kind of thing.
Yes.
But wait. Tay,
The girls just need girlfriends.
Tay, you're really good at, like, snooping out stuff. Do you think that Caroline's back to get Simon, though?
See, I'm trying to be positive.
Okay.
The season finale. It did cross my mind. I'm not gonna lie. It did. It crossed my mind. I don't know.
Because she's like, "What do you mean that's not me? You got the
Yeah.
line right."
There could be
so that's why I was a little bit like,
Slices.
if you're there to not get Simon back, they should be friends. If you're there to get Simon back, you can join Danielle on the train out of Chesapeake.
Wow.
Wasn't she just there for did she stay longer just for a meeting or something or an interview? How long is the interview? Like
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, why is she still here?
And well, no, they
Thank you.
explained
I
it
got my
last
Tay
week's
back
episode.
I'm trying to be good. I was like trying to end on a happy note, and then when season 4 comes, and I was gonna say all this stuff.
No.
Okay.
I like her. She needs to stay. Just saying. Or stick around, or just like be that occasional friend that you see every once in a while. The girls need girlfriends.
They do.
that's true.
Right, they have
They
each
do.
other.
Yeah,
no
but
new
like
friend. I don't
No
see
new
them.
friend.
But
All right, Drake. I don't have time for this.
I like her. I do like Caroline.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt like she was a little sneaky.
I still think she's
Thank
sneaky.
you.
I still think she's
undecided.
sneaky. But Bree, I'm
Yep.
just saying, Bree just has to like get over it first if you want that friendship, whatever, to happen.
I love that
Her
scene. I
insecurity.
totally related to that scene where Caroline walks in. She was like, "Oh, I was thinking we could all go to lunch," and Bree was just like, "Oh."
She does it every
God.
time. It's so funny. I
I
love her
know.
facial expressions.
Who, Breeze?
Yeah.
Yes, Bree.
I want to hear Michael's thoughts on this. Like our comments.
What are you guys writing about her?
Yeah.
It all makes sense. No,
People are great. Jordan.
look, we love Caroline, and we thought. I think at one point we were in the writers' room and just started laughing about the idea of bringing back and making Caroline real, and we had some ideas what would happen if she stays in Chesapeake Shores.
Chaos.
Okay.
but-
Ideas are brewing.
It could be good or bad. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but she actually does know the ending of Breeze, what it means,
Oh.
Okay.
because I still don't know what the meaning of her play of her play.
The crushing of the rose.
No, I mean, we purposely, I purposely wrote something that just sounded just so completely ridiculous and just seems very pretentious. And then we were thinking, it'd be great if no one understands it except for Simon.
So they can connect on that level.
But I so maybe next year we'll find out what the meaning actually really means.
Okay. And maybe next year we'll see Caroline again.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So with Simon, just to wrap out Bree and Simon, they seem pretty more stable this episode, more secure a little bit.
Slightly.
Slightly, yes.
Slightly.
A little bit.
Not a jump.
I
No.
think like Bree needs to get over her insecurities, but the relationship, Simon, he called her out. Like, your book is not about Martin, it's about your mother and all these problems. So I like how he can call her out on her stuff. Good.
And she
Good.
listened.
Yeah, she did listen.
They've been a question mark to me this whole season. Like a huge
I mean,
question mark.
she called him out too. Bree called out Simon when she said, like, this is the man that you wanted to be in the Caroline books.
Right.
So they call each other out, which is why I think it works.
Yeah, I think I think Bree, because of her mom, is a tough nut. And it's going to take a while for her to get to a point where she can be open in a relationship. So, I think Simon might be the guy. He might be the transitional guy. Who knows?
All right, we'll see.
Okay. I loved how the season ended with Bree, though, because at the beginning was a little rocky, definitely rocky shores throughout this entire season, but she ended on a more happier, positive note, looking for forgiveness and acceptance, in a sense. So, and the whole, we finally get the boat at the end of the episode.
Finally.
We don't get the whole conversation on the boat, but at least the boat and the sailing kind of represents like starting new, starting a new life in that sense.
Yep.
No, and it was, to Hallmark's credit, I think that, we, sort of pitching, okay, and at the end, it's going to have this voiceover, and we're going to be seeing this boat, and it's going to be sailing. And the Hallmark's execs, all of whom were, really involved this season, and giving us notes and giving us ideas, kind of went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was hard to sort of visualize until we were actually out there, and seeing the footage. I was in a small boat with Dan Paulson and a couple other people, and we were looking at the monitors, going, oh, wow.
Nice.
But there was 3 boats trailing, and Treat was, Treat's a great sailor, so he did like 80% of the sailing.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
like he is a trained sailor in
like
that
just
sense.
proving that there's nothing Treat Williams can't do.
Just talented.
He can sing, he can sail, he can pilot.
I don't think he can cook.
Maybe
There
he
you
can.
go.
We don't know.
There we go.
But knowing Treat, he would probably go, oh no, I studied a cordon bleu. I mean, like
Probably.
it's one of those kind of things you go, and what haven't you done, Treat? No, nothing really. I was an astronaut. Really? Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'd believe it. I believe it. So congratulations on season 3.
Congrats.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
And I know you can't really tell us much, but any other upcoming projects that you may have or any more ideas for season 4 when we get it?
We have a number of ideas for season 4, and I'm always working on some stuff and just sort of waiting like everybody else is, and to see if season 4 flies. And at this point, we were working on the show up until 2 weeks ago. So
Wow.
I'm spending a lot of time up in Canada with post, but so now it's just wait and see.
All right.
Wait and see. And when we do finally get the season 4 announcement, when would that be? Would that be like January TCAs? January 2019 TCAs? I imagine.
There is no way to predict.
I was gonna ask him like when do these things get announced? Potentially.
Last year they announced in January,
Oh, okay.
but I kind of knew ahead of time.
Oh, we did.
So yeah, but
Okay.
there's no way of knowing.
Yep.
Okay. So when season 4 does happen, we'll be here.
When it happens.
Yes, crossing fingers.
Yes, crossing fingers. Well, thank you again so much,
thank you.
Michael, for joining us once again. When season 4 comes around, you're definitely going to have to come back. Of course, we'll talk more.
It would be my pleasure.
Yeah, we would love to have you. Where can everyone keep following you in the meantime?
I'm the same on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Michael Berns. It's BERNS TV.
Awesome. And Tay?
Tay Alexandria TV on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Cooking with Carlina and then on Twitter at Cook with Carlina.
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Julana.
And you can follow me everywhere at Serafini TV. You can follow all of us here, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all those fun social media platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing. Keep hashtagging Chessies and Chesapeake Shores, tagging Hallmark Channel so we can get season 4.
Woohoo!
Yes. That kind of rhymed.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching us and downloading and subscribing all season long. You Hardies, or not Hardies, sorry. It's all the Hallmark community. You Chessies. I'm getting all my shows confused. I'm getting all my shows confused. You Chessies are amazing. Thank you always for tuning in. And we will see you
Which way are we going?
next season when we get it.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.